Welcome back to Glanigors in North Wales for the second programme from this popular UK karting location. The four finals that we're going to be bringing you are amongst the most competitive in the Ultimate Karting Championship, and competition is usually a great ingredient for excitement. Our first final of the weekend is for the ever-popular Honda Cadet class. At the previous two rounds, both finals have ended with a red flag following an incident. Can they make it to the checkered flag this time? Well, let's go and join your race commentators Jake Sanson and Alan Tadei to find out.
Well, Honda Cadet is always very tight-knit from the start. Cole Denham and Lewis Islin from Thomas Min-Spearing and Lucas Blanford. Hasty and Friend from Johnstone and Giblet Lee, and then Ellis Bell and Alex Reed from Charlie Wolfett and Levi McCarty, White, Kodjakov, House and Bo Rocky Mulvaney from Haas, Brown, Davidson and Smith, Ava Dobson, Kieran Stewart, Oliver Spencer and Ralphie Branscombe will finish up this 24-kart grid. It's going to be very interesting from the start. Lucas Blanford has our 360-degree onboard camera, and we're racing at GYG. Up through the first corner, already a very tough start as they come up into the first corner. Thomas Min-Spearing was trying to get on the inside of Blanford there as they go up towards the first corner. Oh, that's Wolfett going over the top of Bell. And Mulvaney and Brown have gone off in unison. Evie Davidson was collected as well. But incredibly, it looks as though they're pretty much all going to get going. Let's look from Albert Friend as he looks back. You can see the jostle already starting there, and the shift in momentum means that Wolfett has nowhere to go, but he's launched over the top of Ellis Bell, and they were very lucky to get away from that. Only Evie Davidson has not been able to restart. So Mulvaney, Brown, Wolfett and Bell, incredibly, have all managed to get going again. That was a big move, I think, from Leon Hasty to get through into third position as he charges his way forward. They complete the lap. And it's no change at all for Denham and Islin. Hasty is there in third place from Spearing, Blanford, Friend and Giblet Lee. But how on earth are Wolfett and Bell still going? Fair play to them. There is Charlie Wolfett. He looks as though he hasn't even taken a scratch.
Yeah, he just carried on as if nothing had happened, but he's well down the field. Obviously, Lewis Islin in his first appearance in the championship, Jake. They're in second place. We're on board here with Lucas Blanford, winner last time. Thomas Min-Spearing in front of us for the Synergy team. We've got two Synergy drivers out front though, and they'll be trying to work together to get away from Leon Hasty, the championship leader, right behind them.
Hasty, of course, flying the flag for SFR Motorsport. Here comes Spearing on the inside, and there's enough space for Blanford to get there too. That is absolutely perfect for the Synergy team. They are now 1, 2 and 3. But Leon Hasty down the 5th position behind Blanford. That is going to be a tough fight back. Albert Friend, P6, then Jacob Giblet Lee. Johnstone is in 8th place from Alex Reed and Alex Kodjakov. From White, House, Haas, McCarty, Smith, Dobson and Branscombe. As we ride on board once again with Blanford, trying to make his bid on the inside of Spearing. Just a little nudge on the toe. You've just got to try and work that momentum and keep that advantage flowing on the straight. Watch out for Islin up in front. He's having a think about Denham. But as these two work together in unison, it won't be a long shot before the four drivers are close to each other and battling as a quartet.
Lucas Blanford in 4th place, carrying our onboard camera this weekend. He is one of the more impressive drivers, privateers certainly, that we've seen for quite a while, Jake. Came in at round 3, of course, won that round. That's his local circuit up there at Larkhall. But this, if your local circuit is Larkhall, Jake, up in Scotland, North Wales is certainly not your local circuit, and he is doing a fantastic job here once more, demonstrating his absolute outstanding quality.
Yeah, it's one thing to be quick in your back garden, but when you travel across the country and learn new circuits and you're still at the front, that showcases your quality and your ability. So these top 3 teammates again. Denham, Islin and Spearing still trying to stretch away from Blanford. It's not working. Hasty and Friend are actually a long way back for this stage of the race. You can see that there's a massive gap between those top 4 drivers as Blanford has his first look at Spearing, has to bail out of it as they head towards Devil's Elbow. And then Hasty, the championship leader, and Friend, they are quite a way back. Lee in 7th, Reed is in 8th place, and then White, Kodjakov and Johnstone. But as we go up the hill, Blanford is not going to wait around for long. Look, he's right up behind Minspearing. This could be the opportunity into the inside line. He's just going to bide his time. Will the gap appear? It does. Is he going to commit? Yes, he does. Nicely done through Spoon Curve and into third position for Blanford. So Blanford up into third position, and that is well done from the young Scot. Excellent work from him so far. Oh, he's going to run a little wide though. Spearing's going to get back on terms with him. But again, Blanford will have the switchback manoeuvre on the inside for the compression complex. So he just hangs on to third position. It's getting very spicy indeed from 7th downwards. You've got Jacob Giblett-Lee, Alex Reid, Brian White, Lachlan Johnston, Alex Kojikov, and even a couple of seconds back to potentially join the party later is Ewan House. So this could be an interesting squabble continuing here. But these 5 all going for 7th. Giblett-Lee, Reid, White, Johnston and Kojikov. And Alex Reid has just got himself into that 7th place past Jacob Giblett-Lee.
Yeah, it's a good move by Alex Reid, the LM Motorsport driver, up back into the Spoon. This is the battle for third place, 59. Blanford's still there in third. So he's splitting up the team. He's trying to make sure this isn't a Synergy team podium. He wants to be on it with them at least in third place.
Good move from Ryan White, and he's followed by Lachlan Johnstone. They both pick up the pieces there to get the move on Jacob Giblett-Lee, and that is all it takes. Just a fraction of a mistake there, a slight drift wide, and that is all the momentum you need to storm up the inside and grab the initiative. So easy to let the kart drift just a couple of millimeters off the apex. Here comes the cavalry for 7th. That's the LM Motorsport driver Reid in front of Lee, White, Johnston and Kojikov. And we're watching this battle as well now. This is Leon Hasty about to get a hustle from our onboard cameraman, Albert Friend. Hasty defends to the inside line, moves to cover. Albert Friend isn't going to make an easy overtake on Leon Hasty today, that is for sure. And as they come through, I think that's a lead change. Is that Islin on Denham? It is. He gets him. Denham just drifted slightly wide there at Damon Hill, and is able to get through in the inside then, Lewis Islin. Oh, that's what I said. All it takes is a fraction of a second. You just drift slightly wide. And Denham has been having a couple of those moments in a couple of apexes, particularly into the final turn when the back end's just kicked out a little bit. Whether he's not quite happy with the tyre pressures or something's a little bit loose at the rear, whatever it might be, but it caught him out on that occasion. And now Lewis Islin is able to get through, but Denham's straight back on him. And he's there through the right flat out king. What a move. Great recovery from Cole Denham as they lap Kieran Stewart. That was well timed from Cole Denham. What a way to recover.
Stewart involved in that early incident, of course, so well down the back of the field and doing well to keep out of the way as well. Well, I'm saying keeping out of the way, he's got in the way of Minspearing, and Lucas Blanford's taken advantage. Great opportunist driving and getting him straight back is Minspearing.
Absolutely resolute. No, you're not having third place. I don't care if I'm getting held up by a back marker. You're not getting a cheap overtake on me today, sunshine.
Yeah, it was held up.
Oh, that's a big one. Now that could be a red flag. Well, Alex Reid is out of the kart. Lachlan Johnston has come to a stop, and the kart is smoking. Oh dear, Alex Reid. He's in some discomfort. I'm not at all surprised. That could be. Oh, look at that sportsmanship.
That is great sportsmanship. I love to see that.
Well,
there's
Lachlan
no recriminations. We're not talking about whose fault was this,
No.
who did what.
They've had an incident.
He's just concerned for his fellow driver.
Yeah, they've had
that
an incident.
Is fantastic to see.
It's racing, it's motorsport, it happens, but that is how you want to see things at the end of the race. That is what karting should be about.
Yeah,
And Alex,
I love that.
Well,
I
Alex
love that.
Reid,
that is one of the moments of the season for me. That
Yeah.
little moment there between the two drivers.
Well, any moment of any season in karting. Battenberg's, of course. Now that's going to tighten the field up.
Yeah,
So it's
slow down,
Battenberg's,
slow
not
down,
a race
form up.
stoppage.
Yeah, slow down, form up behind the race leader, no overtaking.
Oh.
That's what the Battenberg means.
You
It
know
doesn't
what?
look like these two out front are slowing down.
Well, no, but for
And
Denham,
if I was the marshal, I would not be doing that
No.
with a smoking cart, because that could easily burst into flames.
So the Battenberg flag effectively acts as a safety car. You must slow down and form up behind the race leader. No overtaking, but we're so close to the end of the race, the checkered flag is flying. So they're going to declare it at the... Oh, that's White making a bid on the inside of Giblett-Lee while we're under Battenberg's. That is baffling, because obviously Battenberg means slow down and no overtaking, no racing. So White and Giblett-Lee. Giblett-Lee rightly puts his hand in the air. What are you playing at? We were under Battenberg's. We shouldn't be racing.
The marshal in the background's now waving a red flag, Jake, and it's gone back a lap. They've brought a red flag out after the race is finished.
So that means that Lewis Islin is going to get the victory in front of Cole Denham from Spearing and Blandford.
I've never seen that before. I've never seen a red flag come out after the checkered flag. Lewis, what an absolutely amazing result for you in your first appearance in the championship this season. Just talk us through that final though.
Well, I decided to push my teammate to get away from a big battle, and it turned out really well, so I'm happy with that.
Okay, who do you want to thank?
I want to thank my team, Synergy Factory team, my teammates for helping me with that, and my dad and everybody who was involved.
Okay, well done. A controversial end to the race there, Jake, with the red flag coming out after the checkered flag. I've never seen that before, and a bit of consternation in the paddock over that.
Definitely going to be an interesting talking point. Leon Hasty, though, 5 points ahead of Cole Denham, and another 5 ahead of Lucas Blandford, with Thomas Min-Spearing and Albert Friend chasing them down. Lachlan Johnston and Alex Reid look like they could end the season strong if they keep scoring the way they are.
Well, a great race from the Honda Cadets once again. Join us after the break when it's the turn of the Mini X30s, and all eyes will be on round 3 winner, Jack Hobson. Can he do it once again? Welcome back to Gleneagles, where the youngsters are out on track once again, this time in the form of Mini X30s. Macaulay Bishop is leading the championship with Jack Hobson in second. The man in third is Eden Spanswick. Let's go and see how he's qualified and how he gets on as we go and join your race commentators, Jake Sanson and Alan Tadei.
Taylor Orridge and Finn Leslie will be on the front row of the grid in the crop promotion squad. Eden Spanswick and George Robinson from Morgan Hill and Thomas Cucurullo Yeomans. Jack Hobson in 7th place alongside Ashton Wiggins. This is definitely going to be an interesting one in Mini X30. Up the hill they go, and Taylor Orridge is our cameraman, but already there's going to be pressure from Eden Spanswick, and he's going to get some assistance from Finn Leslie. They both storm by. That was the lesser of two evils, really, for Taylor Orridge. He decides to let them go because you can't win on that one. You can definitely lose, though.
Absolutely, and he's experienced enough to know that. We've got another move down the inside. They made that stick. Looks like they have. Looked like the 86 there of Cucurullo Yeomans, I think it is. Jake's gone through to 4th.
Indeed it is. So a good overtaking move there. George Robinson has ended up falling away from his 4th position slot. Jack Hobson making a good start. Ashton Wiggins likewise. So as they come off the final turn and into lap 2, Taylor Orridge is down in 3rd now behind Spanswick and Leslie. Then Cucurullo Yeomans, Hobson, Hill, Robinson. Ashton Wiggins is down in 8th still, so a lot of work for him to do. But there's definitely time to do it. And he's going to have a good charge up towards Spoon Curve. 4 karts absolutely together. The 5th one is Jack Hobson. Watch out for Hobson. He's going to be making some big moves here. Up on the inside, Orridge goes for 2nd. Gets the move, and a little hesitation from Leslie. That's enough to bring Cucurullo Yeomans in front. Not for long, though. So nice exit from Leslie as he holds that inside line and manages to keep 3rd position for the moment. Hobson commits. That is such a hard move to do.
Superb move by Jack Hobson there to go 4th. There's only 8 in this weekend. We've had twice as many and more earlier in the season, but there is a clash with another championship this weekend that's pretty much decimated the field, but you can still expect this race is going to be all-out action.
Yes, indeed. Calendar clash is very difficult to avoid in the current world situation. You've got to remember that you're trying to compress so many different forms of racing into a short calendar for COVID-19. But up the inside, there's Orridge and there's Leslie, both getting through. Watch for Hobson as well. Can he make it 3? Not quite. He had to hang back there, and he's actually going to lose 4th as a result of that. He's dropped to 6th, I think. So Hobson actually losing a lot of ground there in just raw momentum. There's nothing you can do.
I think he had 2 wheels on the grass, Jake. I think that's what it was. And just see as they go through the line. Yeah, Hobson down to 6, but I'm pretty sure through the second part of the compression complex he had 2 wheels on the grass.
Watch for Leslie and Spanswick trying to come through on the inside. Spanswick's going for Leslie. Oh no, they ended up tagging wheels and Spanswick gets through in a second. Leslie is struggling to hang on to 3rd. He's not going to manage that. He drops to 4th. Hobson comes through. Robinson is side by side with Morgan Hill. Hill gets through. Let's watch again. Now look, that's one driver trying to make an overtaking move while the other one is trying to make the move as well. So Leslie was going for Orridge, but Spanswick was going for him already. Cucurullo Yeomans very nearly got wiped out as well. He was on the curb trying to stay out of trouble and almost got sideswiped. So it's Orridge, Spanswick and Cucurilla Yeomans. Hobson is currently P4. So good recovery from Jack Hobson. He's already back into P4. Now trying to get that deficit down between himself and Cucurilla Yeomans.
Who were the two drivers involved in that incident at Larkhall, Jake? Who were the two? It was Taylor Orridge and the man right behind him, Eden Spanswick. We've got another battle on here, the same two drivers.
There's an old score to settle, essentially, isn't there? And both drivers will still have in the back of their mind, I was right in that. I was right in that situation. So now I'm going to... Oh!
It's Cucurilla Yeomans, I think.
Cucurilla Yeomans going off the road there.
I think he's put two wheels on the grass. You can just make him out in the background here. There he is running wide, two wheels on the grass.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of water on the tyres and now he just runs wide.
Look at the chassis flex as he comes through as well. The car bouncing from side to side, and that's never going to be easy to catch. So Cucurilla Yeomans just washes out. Look at that, the sky looking ominous, but Cucurilla Yeomans has to keep going because with a reduced field, those are decent points. You don't know what's going to happen in the end of the season, so he's just got to keep himself together there and bring it home, especially considering you don't know what's going to happen to the drivers in front. He could well get a top 6 finish the way things are currently going. The battle for the lead, very close.
Absolutely. Battle for 3rd and 4th here, very close as well. Leslie and Hobson. Jack Hobson took the win last time, of course, although Taylor Orridge went through the line first. He got that 1 lap penalty, and it was Hobson who made that fantastic move in the hairpin up at Larkhall to take the win. A super lunge indeed, Jake, it was.
Yeah.
And there is a confirmation that he actually was the super final winner at round 3.
That was glorious, that move, to be fair, as they continue to battle away for position. Is this going to be the big lunge on the inside from Spanswick? Now he's nailed him. Brilliant from Spanswick. He just dropped a couple of kart lengths and used the draft to his good advantage. He thought I was a little bit too close in the braking zone last time, and he used the momentum of the toe, and he came from further back. That's how you storm up the inside. You leave no doubt.
Yeah, and Taylor Orridge gave him room that time, that's for sure. Must have seen him come in and then gave him room, let him pass, because that's the right thing to do. Let him pass, you've lost the place. There's no point in battling for it and taking each other off. You give the room to the driver down the inside and then you start battling again.
Yeah, because there was a genuine possibility. If there was another incident between those two, we could have built another gruesome rivalry. Remember the likes of Freddie Slater and Arvid Lindblad? That got personal a couple of times around the course.
Yeah, absolutely, but there's no place for recriminations in this sport, frankly, as Taylor goes down the inside and takes the spot. Perfect move for the lead through the carousel, fantastic stuff. He's somebody that we've had a lot of media contact with over the years. He's a lovely kid, he really is, so I've got a little bit of an affinity with him. I'd love to see him, notwithstanding that I do like Eden Spanswick as well as a driver. Great driver, but I think if we saw Taylor Orridge win this one this weekend, I'd be a little bit of joy in my heart for Taylor, to be honest, after what happened last time.
Can you imagine the fact that these two, you know, we've seen this time and time again with the likes of Billy Munger and Jamie Caroline, their friendship and their amiability has then transcended from karts into cars. Can you imagine these guys banging 7 bells out of each other in British touring cars and having a great fight with each other from Thruxton to Brands Hatch to Donington Park? It'd be great to watch these guys grow. I mean, these guys could even go on and fight for the Karting World Championship in years to come as well. They've just got this ability. They're so evenly matched. The battle is so close. They've grown up on the same racetrack together. This is a rivalry, albeit close, but potentially amiable, that could just grow and grow. 2 laps left. So it's now or never for Hobson, but it's also now or never for Spanswick. He's coming from a couple of kart lengths back. He'll be in the tow, and he looks behind him. He knows that Hobson's going to be there. Here he goes, inside line at Spoon, and he's in the lead, and Hobson's going to go for it as well. He's through in a second. Perfect timing from Jack Hobson. Immaculate move.
Yeah, Spanswick knew he couldn't wait until the last lap. He's got to get it done now because Orridge would have been hugging the inside line, and now Orridge has got it all on to do.
He really has to try and find the space on Hobson. He's there on the inside. Well committed from Taylor Orridge. That is very brave, and that could have gone so badly wrong coming into what is now going to be the final lap. And look, Hobson's actually lost ground. Leslie's gone through, and Robertson's going to go through as we go into the last lap. Oh dear for Hobson, that's the victory gone.
Yeah, unfortunately, is that a race-winning advantage for Eden Spanswick? This is the question, Jake. We're well into the last lap, we're halfway round. Orridge getting closer, but he's going to have to make a super lunge here if he's going to win this race now.
That's a decent enough gap for my money. Spanswick just needs to hold his racing line, but look how quickly Orridge is catching, actually. I don't think this is done yet. there's a little drizzle on the circuit, so Spanswick is actually really struggling. Look how quickly Orange has got him. This could be a final lap banzai move. He tries through Devil's Elbow. He's going to have to cover Big Style in the final corner. He defends. Orange is going to get the switch out. Side by side. He's got him. I don't believe it. 0.048. Shades of Harley Keeble and Freddie Slater at Sarno in the European Championships earlier this year. Look at that. It's just a couple of inches. He's got him. And Taylor Orange is going to take the victory. Eden Spanswick, post-race, has been excluded for being underweight. And unfortunately, Finn Leslie also an exclusion for non-compliance in scrutineering. That promotes Hobson to second. Robinson gets the podium in third, ahead of Hill and Cucurullo Yeomans. But what a steal by Taylor Orange.
Well, how about that? Eden Spanswick and Taylor Orange were trading places for most of that race. And in the finish, though, Taylor Orange with a bold move on the final corner just nicked it by 4/100th of a second. Great racing from that youngster. Let's see what he had to say when we caught up with him at the podium.
In commentary there, Taylor, we were talking about redemption, and this is redemption for you after Larkhall. Fantastic result. Real big battle, though, out front. Is it the Gabe Stilp Go Faster suit that helped you there?
Yeah, I've worn it all season, tricks all the commentators, but the second half of the season we've really come to life, in my opinion.
Yeah, it has. Difficult in the beginning, but fantastic and brilliant today. Well done. Who do you want to thank for your weekend?
Grice for the motors, everyone from Croc, Dan Stilp, Simon, and everyone that's helped me along the way. Dave Bell-Chambers for the driver coaching.
Okay, well done.
How many times is that final lap going to be replayed in the Orange household? Macaulay Bishop still leads the championship despite not being here, but Jack Hobson and Taylor Orange have made some good gains now. Spanswick is there in fourth position, Leslie and Robinson in the top six, but when Macaulay Bishop returns, he's going to have some opposition on his hands. Hobson, Orange and Spanswick will be all over him.
Mini X30s proving to be just as exciting as ever there. And after the break, we go up an age group with the Junior X30s. Welcome back to Glanigors, where next out on track it's the fiercely competitive Junior X30s. Just 2 points separates the top four in the championship, with Lorenzo Cordell in second, chasing Sam Shaw in first. Earlier on, I asked the Cato Motorsport man if he thinks that this weekend, maybe he could take the top spot.
Under the awning this weekend is Cato, who's telling us the setups, driver coaching me, and just making us go as fast as possible. I've had quite a bit of bad luck this season with a few collisions, but there's nothing I could really do about it. At least I'm only 1 point behind in the championship, and I've still got a very good chance.
Go through turn one. Oh, contact! Lorenzo Cordell's been spat out of the queue.
To beat Sam Shaw this weekend, I've got to just drive as quick as I can and fight my hardest with him.
Well, let's see how Lorenzo does as we head on up to the commentary with your commentators, Jake Sanson and Alan Tadei.
So we're getting ourselves ready for Junior X30. Connor Duncan and Sam Shaw from Lorenzo Cordell and Leo Brown, Gabriel Stilp, Benjamin Doughty, Sam Baker, Zaki Hussein, Archie Clark, Kyan Gohill and Thomas Wainwright. We are off and running, and immediately Sam Shaw loses ground as Connor Duncan gets through, and Shaw is going to lose out down to about fourth or fifth position by the time we get there, but even we're not going to hold the lead. Connor Duncan is going to drop back to third, fourth, fifth if we're not careful. Is that Gabriel Stilp on the inside
Six.
having got through? I think it is six.
Sixth place, Jake. That is a dreadful start for Connor Duncan. However, a bit like we said in the IAMI Super Cadet race at Wigan last year, where we saw Nathan Ty lose a load of places at the start, but said that his experience meant that the red mist, he didn't allow the red mist to descend.
No, indeed.
He kept with it, and the same could be said for Connor Duncan. That's Ben Doughty and Sam Shaw picked out in second and third, but I expect Connor here to just get himself into the race. You can see him there going under the drone, in sixth place at the moment, but let's see where he goes from there.
Yeah, it's a long race. You can't win it on the first lap, but all you need to do is set yourself up for a fight back, and he is one of the drivers that could get this back into the first position. So he needs to set up Leo Brown first and foremost, then he needs to go after Gabriel Stilp, then set up Sam Shaw, then set up Ben Doughty. There's a lot of work still to do, and he can make it happen. Great opportunity though here for the likes of the teammates Ben Doughty and Gabriel Still. Ben Doughty, I have to say, what a second half to 2021 he is having. He's really stepping up the bid in terms of confidence. Don't forget that if Connor Duncan takes the victory in this one, he's going to head to the points lead, so that is even more motivation for him to work his way back up through the field.
Yeah, if he wins this, that's Leo Brown picked out in front of him on the Jack Dex racing machine up the inside. Great pictures again from the 360-degree camera.
And that's 5th position, so that's one of the drivers picked off. Now he's going to go after Gabriel Stilp, who's had another steady successive season, a busy programme for him this year, racing in UKC and out in Europe, as of course is Ben Doughty as well. So it's been a very interesting campaign for 2021. Again, you've got to give it to all of these drivers who are still balancing their race programmes for this motorsport season, whilst also dealing with all the challenges that the pandemic or the pindemic, whatever you want to call it, is. They're still doing an incredible job of managing all of that as they go. Gabe Stilp up in front, 4th position on the march. If we can get there on the inside, that'll do. This is becoming a signature move now for Connor Duncan. He's just needing to do this every single lap. Just get the run out of turn 1, use the toe, get up the inside, into spoon, leave no doubt, and get it all sorted.
Absolutely. Lorenzo Cordell out front is one of the main championship contenders here. Interviewed him earlier. And bear in mind, Jake, of course, there's only two points between the top 4 in the championship.
There is indeed.
You know, the man leading it was Sam Shaw. Then you got Cordell, Duncan and Stilp.
Those are the top 4 drivers in this title fight, and they're right up there fighting for the victory. You couldn't really script it any better if you tried. Look at the speed that Connor Duncan's able to carry. As Ben Doughty, is that going for the lead? He tries, and unfortunately that's going to cost him. Sam Shaw's going to get there instead. Doughty just a tiny bit hesitant, and that was enough to throw off momentum. Shaw going for the lead on Cordell from 3rd to 1st in 2 corners. This is what's so brilliant about Sam Shaw. You think you've seen the best of him. You think you know just how good he is. And then he pops up with a move like that just to show you, I've got a little bit more underneath these sleeves than you think. Amazing from Sam Shaw. So he takes the lead, and if he's not careful, Cordell, in 2nd place, Shaw could get away here. He's got to step up the attack. Back on board, chasing after Doughty. Duncan's going to sweep through on the inside line, so here comes Duncan. He is there on the inside. Very nice manoeuvre. Oh, Brown's going to commit as well. Brown gets there. He does make the move on Ben Doughty. Now Doughty's got to be careful here because he caught the curb on exit. Stilp's going to get the run as well, so Stilp is through. That's unfortunate. Doughty, a couple of laps ago, had a chance to take the lead, and now he slips to 6th. This is why we keep saying it. This sport is not dull. It's not boring. It can change on a heartbeat, and you really have got to keep your wits about you. Now Archie Clark for the Cato Motorsport team is lining up his move to try and get through on the inside line of Ben Doughty, so it can really change in a heartbeat. Hussein just in front of Wainwright and Gohill. You just saw Hussein, the back end of the kart, tried to snap away and throw him off the road, but he controlled it beautifully. I said earlier on that Cordell needed to stay close to Shaw. He's done that and then some, and to make things even more challenging, he's accidentally brought Duncan with him. Oh, this is so tricky. Shaw, Cordell, Duncan up the compression complex now. 1 apex right, 2 apex right, 3 apex right, and then they'll come through that tight left hairpin that you can actually carry a fair bit of speed once you've dealt with the 3rd part of the compression complex. Devil's Elbow drops, then into the left, into the final turn and back onto the start-finish straight once again. It's one of the shortest start-finish straights we have in British karting, but it definitely sets up an amazing charge up the hill. Cordell maybe about to lose the place here. Duncan committed and in the inside line into 2nd place. Magic from Duncan, and at a very difficult point on the circuit to get that right as well, because you really have to throw it up the inside and hope. So he's made that work, and considering that we are getting to the closing stages, Connor Duncan, having had a difficult start, went into turn 1 in 1st, ended up at the top of Damon Hill in P6 on lap 1, but he has not panicked, he has not overdriven the kart. He's just ticked them off one by one, just one kart at a time, one lap at a time, one apex at a time, and now he is on the hunt after Sam Shaw, and on the main straight here, he's going to have a chance. Look, he's already nudging. He's got good speed, good pace. Shaw's going to be bolted to the inside line. Oh, so close, these two. They are flirting with disaster every time they get to the braking zone. Shaw hanging on for dear life in the lead. So this is going to be a tight battle to the flag, but Duncan is doing all the right things here. Now he's going to try. He doesn't quite get the move on the inside line. Shaw is keeping it resolute and very sturdy in the front. But every time Duncan just nudges the back bumper of Shaw, that is another bead of sweat. That's another potential mistake. It's another slight worry for Sam Shaw. He's all over me. I cannot afford a single error.
Connor Duncan's under pressure himself, though, at least was. It's Caudle's dropped back slightly, but gets closer again as they come into the spoon, and that's because Sam Shaw's now defending down the inside of the spoon.
Yeah, we're running out of laps, and Sam Shaw knows that if he tries to just back Duncan in, he's basically hoping that Caudle gets on the inside line. The second Caudle gets on the inside line, Shaw will stop defending because he'll hope that the momentum of those two will give him a couple of kart lengths breathing space, and that will be enough momentum to get him away for a couple of laps more. But Duncan is not going to give Caudle any space to go for the move himself. Final turn, home stretch. And on through turn one again, back on the toe, running out of time. Duncan has a game plan here. Shaw hanging on the inside line. Nudge, inside line, there's the gap. That's enough, Shaw cutting across, and Duncan's gonna have him.
Oh, and Shaw's going to drop back here to fourth, fifth maybe, down to fifth.
Oh, he's
he goes
trying
from
to
first
resist.
to fifth.
He tried to resist, that's the problem. He would have lost less time if he just let Connor Duncan go. But as a result, he really has compromised himself as they drop down the compression complex. Once again, a big drop. This is probably the biggest elevation change in world karting, never mind in Britain. 24 feet from the top of the circuit to the main straight at the foot of the hill. That is quite the challenge. And certainly for Sam Shaw, he's going to have to work very hard to get back. Look, he's there in fourth place behind Stilp, and they've got a few kart lengths back to the two leading drivers. Duncan trying to hang on. On the inside, Caudle, what a move as Shaw pulls off the same one on Stilp. Caudle through to first, Shaw through to third, Duncan back on the inside, gets back through on the Lorenzo Caudle. These two keep scrapping. Shaw and Stilp are going to be on them like a ton of bricks. And now Connor Duncan needs to play the ultra defensive move. No more cheap overtakes from Lorenzo Caudle. You have got to be resilient and you've got to be absolutely adamant. No, you're not having this lead. No chance.
Well, again, brilliant driving by Caudle to get the position. Brilliant driving by Connor Duncan. And I use that word advisedly. I don't bandy that word around. But it's exactly what it was. Brilliant, great driving by the pair.
So Duncan versus Caudle. One more lap of great race action between them. Sam Shaw trying to catch them up. Gabriel Stilp in fourth place. Kudos for Archie Clark. He has caught and passed both Leo Brown and Ben Doughty to move up into fifth position. Good work.
And bear in mind that Ben Doughty, Jake, earlier in the race, we saw him trying to go for the lead at that point, and then he's going for the lead. He lost a couple of places, and now he's back in seventh.
Yep, it's a tough race. It's a tough battle. It doesn't matter how many drivers you get. Into the final couple of corners, it's going to be a tough one, but Duncan is going to take it from Caudle, Shaw and Stilp. Doughty does fight back to fifth in the end, in front of Brown and Clark. What a final corner that was for the three. Patience, the ultimate virtue for Connor Duncan. He takes the win in front of Lorenzo Caudle, Sam Shaw and Gabriel Stilp, the four title contenders in the top four places. Ben Doughty, a solid comeback from fifth position. Leo Brown P6 ahead of Zaki Hussein and Archie Clark, who receives a post-race penalty, sadly. Thomas Wainwright and Sam Baker in the top 10. Great race.
Well, commiserations to Sam Shaw, leading for so long in that one, but one little mistake cost him dearly. He salvaged third, Lorenzo Caudle got second, but the man out in front who's going to be pleased, Connor Duncan. Here's what he had to say at the podium.
Connor, back-to-back wins, Larkhall last time, Glannygorse Park this time. Great final for you today. It was close, but you came out on top. Just talk us through the race.
Yeah, I went into the first corner in pole, managed to get through into first. Then going into the second corner at the top end, I opened the door, went back to sixth, and then fought my way back up from there. It was a close finish, but managed to come home with the win.
Yeah, and any time you drop back to sixth and come back like you did, it's always a fantastic result. Who do you want to thank for your weekend?
I'd like to thank my dad, my mum, Red Raft Racing and Paul Carr for the amazing engines.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
This Junior X30 title fight has more twists and turns than an Agatha Christie novel. Connor Duncan 10 points clear of Sam Short for the moment, but Lorenzo Cordell and Gabriel Stilp are right in there. And once Brandon Carr returns, he's going to be providing some firepower for the end of the season. Archie Clark and Leo Brown fighting for the title of best of the rest with Doughty, Hussein and Baker. This has all the makings of a classic.
Junior X30 racing at its best, and after the break it's some of our most experienced drivers in the Senior X30s. Welcome back to Glanigors in North Wales for the final time as we head straight out to the track with the Senior X30s. Caden McQueen and Oliver Greenall are locked in a battle at the top of the championship table, with Luke Watts and Carly Atkins fighting out for third and fourth respectively. Let's see how they've all qualified as we go and join your race commentators Jake Sanson and Alan Tadei.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one. Luke Watts and Teddy Pritchard-Williams from the front row of the grid. Caden McQueen and Jude Fernahoe. Then it is Ben Higgins and Louis Johnston-Cool from Carly Atkins, Alex Moody, James Otto, Robert Parker, Charlotte Parker and Cameron Coombs to make it a 12-kart field. Again, obviously, Canada clashes. You've got to compress as many rounds into a COVID-19 torn season as you can. So that's why the grid is lower. Here we go with Teddy Pritchard-Williams, and already the battle joined as Caden McQueen gets up the inside of Luke Watts, and they're going to charge their way forward up to the top of the hill. But this is a great start for Teddy Pritchard-Williams. Caden McQueen second. How difficult is this going to be for him to hang on to with Caden McQueen on the warpath? He really is absolutely on it every time he goes to battle. And in fourth place, they are already starting to lose ground to the leading trio. That is how quickly they are getting on with it. It is the 20 of Ben Higgins that has been able to get up into fourth position, but he's no slouch either. Ben Higgins is definitely going to be one to watch if these three start to duel away.
Ben's dad Mark is here with him this weekend, and he is of course the former British rally champion, but he's also the man these days that drives the stunt cars in the James Bond movies.
What a great job up the inside. Oh, lovely from Luke Watts, who storms up on the inside of Caden McQueen. Ben Higgins is there in P4 in front of Carly Atkins. If those two keep dueling for second place, Watts and McQueen, there might be a stunt or two from Ben.
I see what you did there, Jake. Nice link.
Oh, I thought so. I may not be quick, but I'm clever. Anyway, Teddy Pritchard-Williams is now about half a second in front of Luke Watts, having stormed that move on the inside of Caden McQueen of the run to the Spoon Curve. And that's given Pritchard-Williams just a couple of extra kart lengths breathing space as they complete the lap. He's now going to have a little bit more momentum. Watts will be trying to get in the tow. And let's not forget, he's got points to make up after his issues at round 3.
Yeah, had that mechanical failure, of course, at Lark Hall. So that won't have helped his cause. But of course, as we were speaking about earlier, you can drop your worst 2 pre-finals and worst 2 finals from your end of season total, so he's not out of it by any stretch of the imagination.
Good move there from Carly Atkins in Spoon. He managed to get into 4th place there, past Ben Higgins, so that was a good move from the Jamaican, who is based these days in Great Britain. His dad, by the way, Carly Atkins' father, is one of the most incredible jazz musicians in the world. He is a very talented saxophone player. If we get the campfire going one of these nights, we may just get a tune or two out of him.
You on the guitar, Jake?
Yeah, I'll go on the guitar. He'll go on the saxophone. Perfect. Carly Atkins, fastest lap of the race as he pushes forward to try and catch up with his teammate, Caden McQueen. Was that a switcheroo there on the inside from Louis Johnston-Cool? It was. He got the move there on Jude Fernahoe. That was a lovely sweeping move. So he gets up a position. I have to say, fair play to Carly Atkins. He is almost the equal in terms of speed these days from Caden McQueen. And that comes down to all of the hard work that Caden and the team at Crop Promotions do with their drivers. They all try and get them to work at a similar speed. Look at these two, James Otto and Cameron Coombs. They are the new recruits. It won't be long before they're swapping sector times with Caden and Carly.
Yeah, it's a great team they're running there, I think, at Crop Promotions. We did an interview with Dan earlier in the season, of course, and Caden. And we know Caden likes working with the other drivers, and the whole organisation there is set up to help all of the drivers in the team, using the talent in the team to help the drivers who are coming into the team, perhaps with less experience. So it is a great setup there at Crop Promotions.
But this is Louis Johnston-Cool starting to hassle Ben Higgins in the hope that he can make his move on the inside line. It's not going to be easy to get this overtake done, though. Ben Higgins is no slouch. He will be positioning the kart nicely in the final turn. That's a move from Moody. And he passes Fernahoe, so good move from the Cadet Motorsport driver. Now he's going to have his sights firmly set on catching Higgins. But Luke Watts, fastest lap of the race, as he tries to close up and then make the move again on Pritchard Williams. I think there was a change between the two crop promotion teammates. Did Kalai Atkins get third? Yes, he did. So he's now in front of Caden McQueen. Brilliant battles, brilliant race circuit. You've got to love the Glenagorse Park circuit. I've been told, apparently, there are some suggestions that the circuit is actually going to be extended to improve overtaking opportunities. I've got to ask, though, Alan, this is a brilliant circuit. Can you improve on perfection?
Well, they are certainly going to extend the circuit, and it will make the overtaking a lot easier if they do that.
Well, I have to say I'm very excited, and I cannot wait to return. If the circuit goes the way it's planned, that's definitely going to make me want to have another go. Oh, that's a problem for Moody. Moody seems to have had a problem in the final couple of corners of the lap. Now, whether, again, he's been involved in an incident or whether he's just spun the car, very unclear. We only saw the end of that incident, unfortunately. So Alex Moody is now down at the back of the field. Now, this is the battle between James Otto and the man in front of him, Robert Parker. But we need to switch back to these two because Teddy Pritchard Williams and Luke Watts are very close indeed. And Watts will be throwing everything bar the kitchen sink at the race leader to get by. Into turn one, Pritchard Williams and Watts. Atkins, McQueen, there's Johnston Cool, and there is Ben Higgins, currently in P6. Does look as though something's not quite right with that machine compared to what it was at the start. He was dueling for victory, and now he is a good 6.5 seconds back. That's not typical Ben Higgins pace at all. Teddy Pritchard Williams and Luke Watts. Kalai Atkins is there in third. Caden McQueen's doing his best to be there with his teammate, but again, it just doesn't quite look like he's at the pace we know him to have.
Absolutely. We talked about Ben Higgins there, Jake. We filmed him, of course, at the Rotax Festival last year. Was it last year?
It was
time
mighty
with,
on that day.
with the pandemic. Time is just becoming a blur in the past. But last time we did the Rotax Festival, that's for sure. Ben Higgins was on it that day. Had a fantastic victory.
Absolutely mighty that day, and I'm sure there's plenty more of those still to come from young Ben Higgins. Where is Luke Watts going to make this bid on Teddy Pritchard Williams? That's going to be the key factor. It's not can he make the overtaking move. We already know he can. Luke Watts has this ability to create an overtaking move out of thin air. What he's got to do is make sure that Teddy Pritchard Williams is second guessing where and when it happens. He cannot be predictable. He's got to be strong. He's got to be dictatorial when he makes the overtaking move, and he's got to make sure it's a clean one, but he cannot give Teddy Pritchard Williams that air of predictability. He's got to keep him guessing.
But look at that again. Pritchard Williams there, 8 to 9 kart lengths ahead, and he needs to be a lot closer than that, Luke Watts, and the laps are counting down. This is the battle for 8th we're looking at. This is Cameron Coombs, James Otto, Robert Parker going through the line, and Alex Moody in behind them. Alex struggling a bit now.
Yeah, he's obviously trying to recover from the time he lost earlier on in the race. He was in there in the battle for 6th position with Higgins and Fernahoe. He made a great overtaking move on him in the final turn earlier in the race. This is tricky now for Teddy Pritchard Williams in front of Luke Watts. Can he hold on to this advantage? Watts is still pushing, but Teddy Pritchard Williams does have good enough waft out of turn one up that back straight to negate any toe that Luke Watts could draw. Look, he's not able to close in on him, so that's good power and good pace from Teddy Pritchard Williams. Normally in the draft, Luke Watts would be able to storm up behind Pritchard Williams and throw it up the inside, but to be fair to the team, they have set up that kart absolutely perfectly for Teddy Pritchard Williams. Any ground Watts has been able to make up in the Titan Twisties, he's able to get away on the straights.
Louis Johnston Cole, we had a look earlier there, just going up through turn 2, but he's got a couple of seconds to make up now on Caden McQueen in front, so he's certainly not going to do that.
Teddy Pritchard Williams looking so comfortable in the lead of this race. Luke Watts is there in second, hustling his every move. Look, let's ride on board, let's watch. Just can't get close enough. This is great from Teddy Pritchard Williams. The ideal setup on that car. Normally Watts would be all over him like a ton of bricks heading into the braking zone, but Teddy Pritchard Williams able to just keep that pace solid and strong.
Yeah, this is, as I said earlier when I spoke to him, he was saying how much he loves this track. This is his favourite track, and you can see why, although again, here we go. Luke Watts getting that much closer. Now he's in striking distance, but the laps are counting down. There's only a handful of laps left, maybe 2.
These are the only parts on the circuit, really, the Titan Twisties, where he's going to be able to make that big move. He's got the gap down to 0.3 of a second, but watch again. Look, a little slide from Luke Watts through turn 1. Now he's close enough to him to start making a gain. So this continuation of the lap needs to be absolutely perfect from Luke Watts.
And this is the last lap, Jake, by the way. This is the last lap.
Yes, indeed.
And the corners are counting down. I don't think Watts is going to get by. Pritchard Williams should be able to defend this to the line.
He needs to come up with a very decent slingshot in the final corner, so every turn from here on in needs to be immaculate. But Teddy Pritchard Williams has good traction, good grip, good speed. It's going to be fine. Teddy Pritchard Williams will take the checkered flag, and that means the world to him. Luke Watts in second, Kalai Atkins in third. A great drive there. Caden McQueen P4 from Louis Johnston-Cool and Ben Higgins. Higgins will be frustrated, but he does come home in front of Jude Fernahoe and Cameron Coombs. James Otto there in ninth ahead of Robert Parker. But for Teddy Pritchard Williams, that will be a very satisfying win.
Well, he may not have been with us for round 3 at Lark Hall, but back here for round 4 at GYG, he was dominant. Teddy Pritchard Williams with the win, and here's what he had to say at the podium.
Got into the lead early, and then it was just about lap after lap after lap, just trying to beat the dash, because there was constant pressure.
Yeah, constant pressure, but consistency is the
Yeah.
key. Who do you want to thank for your weekend?
So just want to thank my dad, mum, Lee, Sam, and I'd just like to dedicate it to my mate who sadly lost his life a few weeks ago, so that's for you, Kieran. Thank you, mate.
Okay, well said.
Cheers.
A special victory for Teddy Pritchard Williams. In terms of the title fight, Oliver Greenall's absence now brings Caden McQueen dead level with him in the title fight. Luke Watts is third from Kalai Atkins and Teddy Pritchard Williams. Alex Moody is P6, but with Luke Watts only 14 points back and Greenall and McQueen all square, it's going to be an epic three-way fight for the title.
In the only other class racing this weekend, the Sody Kart Academy final was pretty close between the 3 out front. It was Zane Quaker that came out on top, but in the final turn, James Roberts ran wide, allowing Rory Armstrong up the inside to grab second. Roberts would have to content himself with third, with Daniel Minto coming home in fourth.
So that concludes our racing from Glanigors. The picturesque North Wales setting proved to be the perfect backdrop for the action out on track. And once again, the Ultimate Karting Championship really demonstrated that it's living up to its name. Until next time, when you join us from round 5 at Shennington, from all of us here at GYG, see ya.